This was taken by Nigel in the over in the UK, and the caption put with it is "leading lines."
Yeah, and I saw that, and you do have leading lines, but there's a missing element. When you have leading lines, and virtually every composition tool is about this, you have to lead your eye to a subject. There has to be like a point. I mean, it does illustrate leading lines, but it would be much more interesting to have a person, for instance, walking in the back of the frame, or a dog or a bicycle or something like that. Otherwise, it's just a compositional tool. It's a little bit like writing a sentence like this. Look over there. Look over where? There. What is there? You have to specify. Look at the tree, look at the bird, look at the car, then it's a complete sentence. And so think about these tools of composition. I mean, as far as, you say, okay, good, here's leading lines. It obviously fulfills that purpose. But this is where, especially at night, you might have to be really patient and wait till somebody walks into the frame. You can always be the subject. Don't forget that. You can always put a camera on a tripod, put a timer on it, or a remote shutter release, and you be the subject and walk into the frame. That's always available to you. Or your companion, if you're out shooting with somebody, you're free to direct and do whatever you want with that shot. But that's important to remember, that leading lines and many compositional tools are based on leading your eye to the subject. Okay. Who's next?
All right, we've got our good friend Christopher Scott Carpenter. And I don't know why, but on a couple of these photos, Facebook decided to add some white space.
Okay.
I don't believe it was added by them, so we'll just have to ignore the white space. But anyways, this is a Greek Orthodox Easter service in Montreal, Canada.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I honestly could not tell what it was. Now that I see it, I see that. I love you've got a lot of layers here. The priest with his, I think that's an incense burning thing, whatever that's called. And the incense burning, smoke coming out of it. And the various different expressions, even though we don't see anybody's full face, we see different expressions. This tells a really interesting story. Composition-wise, it's an interesting compositional technique. It's called three-point composition. It's in my book, which is over here somewhere. Three-point composition doesn't have to have just 3 points in it, but it's 3 or more points. In this case, you have 4, really, and then a sliver of the other guy's head. But really, it's 4-point composition, but it's the same idea. There's something interesting about 3 points of view that our eye really likes. And, these compositional tools, they're not always easy to explain. Why do they work that way? I don't know. They just work. Why does it work that way? I don't know. There's something about the balance. You could get all technical and try to dissect it, but it's art. You can't always dissect art, but you do have 3 points of view, and you have a punctuation point, which is that looks like a sword. I doubt it is. What is that? I don't know what that is,
Sort
but
of a staff, or
yeah, and that's another punctuation point. So you got a lot of cool elements going on that make that all work. And the emotions are interesting. Like the emotion of that priest or minister is sort of, what would you say? Complacency, boredom? I don't know.
Or gravitas, stoicism, maybe.
Yeah, stoicism. That's probably it. Yeah. And then on the side, like look at the guy on the far right. Yeah, that guy. I feel like there's some distress coming out of that guy's face. Anyway, you've got interesting emotions kind of coming through here, which makes it a very interesting photograph. So good work, Christopher.
And very interesting, once again, that you said no one person has their full face.
Muted reverence. Thank you. That's right. There's no one person has their full face. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's really cool. This is from Guadalupe, and it is steam coming from the smokestack. This is a sugar beet factory where sugar is made after the harvest.
Yeah, this is what Dan Milner would call a transitional photograph, or it's part of a series that we're showing what's going on with the sugar beet factory or the environment around it or whatever. I don't consider it a standalone. I consider it part of a series which has a definite purpose. You're like in writing, you have a paragraph that may not by itself be the thing that you're going to quote all the time, but it's important because it explains part of the scene. Sometimes you have a photograph, it's all by itself. It has a complete message. So that would be like a paragraph or a sentence by itself just stands out and it's very quotable. So it's a good example of using that as part of the image story. And I like that you chose black and white. Is this a digital? It looks like it because I do see some noise up there. I would get rid of the noise. Yeah. Unless I'm wrong, maybe it is. It's possible. I've seen grain look
kind can be a little harder to tell through.
Yeah,
multiple layers of zoom.
But anyway, I would just get rid of that, and it looks like a little something. I don't know if that's a speck. Yeah, right there, or that's a bird or whatever. I'd probably just get rid of that, just because it just cleans it up. But otherwise, it's definitely you've got a pretty good dynamic range in there from the white snow into the black. So that's always great on black and white photography. So good one.
All right. I need not say who this is.
I wonder who that is.
This is our good friend
I
Sue,
laughed at that. I saw that.
Yeah, one of our favorite dogs. And it's Idaho wildlife in the deep snow. There was a picture of a deer as well, but I just love this one.
And one of our other favorite dogs is around here somewhere. I don't know where she went. Her birthday's in a couple of days. So yeah, Sue, that's really a classic golden look. They're always getting something in their mouth. If they can't chase a frisbee or a ball or a stick or dive in after ducks or whatever, there's going to be something going on. They like to chew and whatnot. That's really, I love that photograph because it just captures the essence of a golden retriever, and the snow just hunkered right down in there. They love water too, and snow is water basically. So you've got to really, you got the essence of that wonderful dog. I think it's great how it's just the only color is, the golden face and the golden fur. Very cool. Good one, Sue. Please subscribe and enable the bell so you don't miss any of our new shows. Like the video and please share it and leave your comments. I love hearing from you. And remember to get out and capture your own images of life.